This is Coach E on Coach Talk, a HME production.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to your premier destination for business and finance advice. I am your host, Coach E. Thank you for joining me on this week's episode. I want to thank Mike King from On the Mic with Mike for giving us a slot during his segment on ESPN Richmond. I also would like to thank Exit Resource Realty for being one of our proud sponsors. Shout out to Ms. Tamara Taylor, the principal broker over there. Also want to give a shout out to Chris Watson over at Movement Mortgage. He's one of our specialists that you will get a lot of different advice from periodically during our shows. So look, let's get rolling here. Look, every week I don't know if I told you all this before, but I love talking about business. I think I was little, maybe. Okay, I was little. I was young, and I always had a passion for business, from the lemonade stands to selling candy, selling cookies. And then as I matured, as a woman, I began to establish other businesses. And that's when I really realized, hey, this business thing, having your own business ain't a bad thing. So this week, I want to just kind of talk with you all, we'll at least start the segments of talking about how to really set up your business and scale it. The new year is coming. We're already in November. So, we're talking about Thanksgiving is around the corner. Then we'll be right into Christmas. Then everybody is going to be doing these New Year resolutions. A lot of times I call them New Year fake promises because a lot of times we don't hold on to them, unfortunately, but they sound good starting out the new year, right? But a lot of us, we sincerely want to have a business, or let's just say we may have started a business and we're so unhappy with having a part-time business and running into, what is our full-time employment, but we just can't see, how do I scale my business? And when I talk about scaling, I don't want to keep using words that without giving explanation for them. So when I talk about scaling, I'm talking about, how do I grow my business? How do I produce enough revenue or get enough financial resources to come into my business where I can now be an employee, or I can hire other employees, or maybe take on new contracts or new clients? How do I even go into new locations? This is all under that scaling, and it all starts really at the foundation of building your business. See, lots of times we approach our business from a hobby standpoint, because we are already we have kind of an employee mindset. So when we know that we want to start a business, we kind of take it from that, okay, well, I know what I want to do because this is what I do good at, or this is what I hear that I should be doing. And when I say hear me, what I'm speaking of is from a spiritual standpoint. Or you may have friends and family that says, hey, you bake really good. Why don't you have a bakery? Or you do makeup really well. Why don't you do makeup for people? So then we kind of approach it, well, I just want to do what I'm good at. We don't understand the business part of what we do well at. And that's what we have to start to unpack and undress over the next few weeks, so that you'll understand that I may have a gift or a talent or an anointing to do a certain thing, but there's still the business backdrop of that thing that I have to contend with. Because if I don't contend with it, it will contend with me. And a lot of times that's why people fail at business. Within the first year, a lot of businesses already close their doors. Majority of those businesses that start in that first year that didn't close in the first year typically meet their demise within the first 5 years. So, and that's a lot of times because there is not enough preparation, the business is not tended to. So what are some of the things that we have to tend to in business? First, we have to make sure that we're coming with something that is needed in the marketplace. You know, the worst thing to say is that I want to be a baker and have a bakery, and there's 10,000 bakeries in your marketplace, in your local marketplace, and they're dying out. You know, one of the biggest industries that lenders, and when I say lenders, I'm talking about banks and investors, and we'll get into some of those terminologies later. They stray away or they shy away from anything with food and beverage. And the reason being is that that is like one of the hardest businesses to actually start. And but people do those businesses all day long. So if you're gonna start a bakery or a catering company or a restaurant of some sort, you want to do your homework. You want to find out how, first of all, is the cuisine that you're offering, is that a cuisine that is doable within your marketplace? You don't want to be a vegan have a vegan restaurant in an environment where everybody loves pork and beef, and no one is really shopping vegan. You know, there's some areas in the country where everybody is really health conscious and they run to vegan places. And then there's some areas where people just don't, you know, so you really want to make sure that your market, that you're the local market that you're putting your business inside, that it can sustain that. Then you want to create a business model. You want to talk about, what is your vision? What do you see happening from this business coming into that marketplace? And I want to sit there for a moment, because a lot of times all we think about is how we're going to pad our pockets. One of the things about businesses is you have a great responsibility to the community in which you service. It's not just about how much money me and mine can make. It's also about how much can I put back into my community that they may be able to thrive and continue to visit my establishment. So that's something else you have to think when you're building out your vision. Your mission is now, how am I going to take this thing to the marketplace? What is it going to look like when it gets there? What are my steps? What am I offering? What am I guaranteeing? We have to start to unpack that so that we can create our mission. So as you see, part of scaling your business is having a clear identification or a clear idea of what your business is. What is it offering? Who are you offering it to? Why are you offering? What benefits is it bringing? And how are you going to be profitable behind it? These are very, very, very major things that we have to address before we can even get to the place of, okay, I'm ready to run to the bank to get a loan. So I want to now start to drop into that. So the first part really is building out your business plan, your business model, being clear. You know, we always hear, write the vision, make it plain. That's part of it. But you also want to know what skills, what qualifies you into running your business, right? If I decide that I want to be a baker and I want to have a bakery, okay, I may be able to bake well, but what other things qualify me for running this business? And it's, for some of us, it becomes a real touchy subject. Well, what do you mean? All I need to know is how to bake a cake. Well, no, there's a little more to that. So this is when we start to build ourselves up. We start taking classes. We start going to events. We start getting the things that we don't know. We are identifying our weaknesses, so that our personal weaknesses. Now, there's a SWOT that you're going to do for your business. That's your strengths, your weaknesses, your oppositions, and your threats. Of course, you're going to do that, right? But we're talking about personal, because there has to be some personal development in this process to building your business. If I'm not growing, how can I grow a business? I can't scale a business if I'm not scaling myself. I have to build out my capacity, right? It's so important. I see oftentimes that people have great ideas and they may be great at something, right? And they get out there and they're still in the same place today as they were yesterday. And they're all of the bills are piling up, because, you know, running a business, it's a whole entity. entity. It's a whole person. You yourself are a person going in to help another person. And it's just not, when I say another person, it's a whole, again, an entity, an individual, is how the IRS looks at it. That's why it's an EIN number. So you get an EIN versus a social security. You are literally birthing this thing, right? You're creating its identity. You're giving it its structure. So for us as humans, it's male or female. For business, it's whether it's a partnership, an LLC, an incorporation. What type of business structure is it going to be? Then you have to build its identity. Just like we, as being birthed into this world, our identity comes, right? That's our brand. Our identity is our brand. Your business has to get that too. So you got all of these things that are going on, and we are learning. We should be learning personally, developing, so that we can develop the business. So now let's kind of move on. I will sidetrack on you in a minute. So we're trying to really stay on topic here, because I really want us to get to the scaling of things, right? The scaling of your business. So how do I scale my business? So as we said, you want to write out your plan. Make your plan as plain as possible. Do not be in a rush. Do not be in a rush. This is not a sprint. Having a business and being profitable takes time. There's a difference between being profitable, right, and making revenue. Okay, I want to break that down. My business may make revenue, but I may not be at profit level yet. Okay, let me explain. I may sell hair gel, and I may make 1,000 jars of hair gel to sell. And out of that 1,000 jars of hair gel, I am selling them for $5 a jar. To run my whole corporation for the month, it may cost me $10,000. Every time I sell a hair gel, I'm making money. But if I'm only making 1,000 bottles of hair gel a month, and I'm only selling them for $5 each, and it costs me $10,000 to make them, my business is not profitable yet. I'm making revenue, but on paper, I'm losing $5,000. So when you are sitting down, coming up with your business, you want to figure out not only how am I going to create revenue, and what is that going to look like, but what is it going to cost me to actually run this business so that I'm not losing money, but I'm gaining money. Now, here's the thing. Most businesses are going to be in the red or negative for the first few years. Having a business is literally an investment. We don't run to the stock market to invest our money to turn around and take it tomorrow and have made, if I invested $1 today, I have 100,000 tomorrow. No, if you put $1 in today, it takes time for that dollar to really work itself and create more dollars. It's the same thing with business. You have to be comfortable with getting into it for the long haul. This is now an investment engine that you are dealing with. This isn't something where this is no longer a hobby. I get up and I bake cookies because everybody likes cookies and I just want to see smiles on everybody's face. We're past that. When you decide I want to bake as a business, I now have to consider the expenses and how am I now going to make a business profitable. So now that we are addressing that, and we're talking about scaling, and we talked about how you may only be able to make 1,000 jars of gel. How many people will you need in order to make 5,000 jars of jail? And how much more is it going to cost you in order to hire those people? What is it going to cost your bottom line? And if you hire them and now you're making 2,500 or 25,000 jars of jail, are you now profitable? And so the point that I'm trying to make is scaling and employees and all of this stuff is very crucial when you understand the basis of your business and your numbers. You got to know your numbers. Okay. So now let's move on. So now most people are saying, hey, I have my business. I'm ready to get started, right? What do I do next? I need money. So if you hold tight, I need to play a message for you guys, and we'll be back to talk about how do you fund your business. So one moment.
I'm Chris Watson, loan officer with Movement Mortgage.
And I'm Tamara Taylor, principal broker with Exit Resource Realty.
Our passion is to help people build wealth through home ownership. So whether you're a renter looking to become a homeowner, an investor increasing your portfolio, or anything in between, Tamara and I have teamed up to help you succeed. At Movement, we offer competitive rates, down payment assistance programs for first-time home buyers, and a wide variety of loan products to help current homeowners utilize the equity in their home.
At Exit Resource Realty, we offer a no-obligation consultation to help you determine your real estate needs. We discuss location, school districts, pricing, grants, and so much more.
When you're ready to get started, please call or text Chris Watson at 804-267-0542.
Or call or text Tamara at 804-519-7676.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to Coach Talk. Again, I'm your host, Coach E, and you have entered in the premier destination for business and finance advice. I want to give a shout out to Mike King with On the Mic with Mike for giving us time during his segment. I also would like to give a shout out to Exit Resource Realty and its principal broker, Tamara Taylor, for being a proud sponsor. I also like to give a shout out to Chris Watson over there at Movement Mortgage for being one of our experts for mortgages. So let's dive back in because we only have a few more minutes left, and I want to give you some more information. And of course, you definitely want to tune in for the next week as we begin to break each one of these things down. So you may be saying, okay, Coach E, I've already developed my plan. I see that there's a need. I know my numbers. I'm ready to launch. I have no money whatsoever. I'm sitting here and I'm praying and I hear God saying, jump, 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 go, go. And you're like, Lord, where? How am I going to make this happen? Look, there are 4 major ways that people fund their businesses. 4. That's 4. There's many different ways within the 4, but there are 4 major ways. Okay. The first one is bootstrapping. Most people will bootstrap. That is that they will take some of their own personal money, their own personal credit cards. They will they will go and make product. And as they're making product and selling it, they'll put it back into the business. Or if they sell a service, they'll put it right back into the business. That's called bootstrapping. And we'll get more into details as the weeks go forward about bootstrapping. But I want to stop there and say bootstrapping is the first one. The second option that people use in order to fund their business is they will do find them an investor, right? So what does that look like today? So you have angel investors, you have crowdfunding. That's a part of being have an investor. You may decide even to take your business as a partnership and have the partner be a solid partner, but they fund you. So all of these are examples of investors, and we'll break those down as we move forward in the next few weeks as well. The third thing that people use is loans, right? There are a gazillion loans out here for businesses. Believe it or not, there are a gazillion loans. And those run from SBA, those run from your local community bank offering. You have what they call funders out here, business funders that will do loans for you that are they are called alternative lenders. Thank you, Lord. Alternative lenders. And so they look at things very different than your local bank. Your local bank may be looking for a 720 credit score. They may look for a 600 credit score. And in some cases, they may go down to a 580 credit score. And then for some of them, they don't even care what your credit look like. Do you have a pulse? Have you been in business? And are you making money? That's all they look for. So there's different options. And we're going to break down that loan thing too, because there's some good stuff in there and there's some not so great stuff in there. And I want to make sure that anything that I bring to you all, that it's going to be really good so that you can make some really great decisions on what works best for you. The fourth option, this is what everybody loves. Everybody loves free money, right? I know I do. I don't know about you, but I love free money. Free money is great money. But I always tell people nothing in this world is free. It just isn't free. Okay. Whether you're going to have to give up some time for it, it's not free. Now they may say, look, I believe in your vision. I'm going to stroke this check, but you're going to have to give something in return. And again, a lot of times it's giving them an accountability, giving them accounting of what or how you've used the money. So it's just a little time, a little bookkeeping, right? But you should be doing all of those things anyway if you're getting money. So these are called grants, right? We're talking about grants. There are grants available for people that are in for-profit businesses. Now, grants are very competitive and grants take a little bit more time to pull together, but it is possible. You can find them on the federal, you can find them on the state, local level. You can also find them with other third-party companies. So there are grants available. So look, if I've intrigued you at all with anything that I said about how to fund your business, you don't want to miss the next few weeks of Coach Talk, because we're going to dig in, and then I'm going to be bringing some people into the studio and also online so they can talk to you about how to fund your business. But look, I'm telling you, if you haven't gotten the vision and made it plain, work on that first. Please don't put yourself in a situation where you get money and you're not ready for it yet. I love each one of you all for tuning in to this week's episode of Coach Talk. Please definitely look us up on Facebook. Also, if you are interested in any type of funding, you can go to UAREANASSET.com. That's URNasset.com/small business funding. And you can get some information from there, or you can even talk to myself or one of my other partners that works out of the company about your specific needs. Again, we want to give a shout out to Mike King from On the Mic with Mike and Exit Resource Realty and their principal broker, Tamara Taylor. I love you guys. I can't wait to talk with you next week.
This is Coach E on Coach Talk, a HME production.